$1 million in a retirement account. You would think that is the finish line. You would think the guy who gets there finally exhales. He does not. New research, this literally came out last week, shows the average married retiree with at least $100,000 withdraws 2.1% of their savings per year. That is not a typo. The guy who spent 30 years grinding toward $1 million retires, looks at his Fidelity app, and takes out 21 grand. Half of what every financial planner on earth says he could safely spend. He eats at home. He skips the trip to Italy. He tells his daughter he does not need anything for Christmas. He is a millionaire who lives like he is broke, and before you think he is some outlier, some paranoid dude with a spreadsheet addiction, 64% of Americans say they are more scared of running out of money than they are of dying. Not slightly more scared, they ranked an empty bank account above death. Allianz published that number in 2025. Nobody blinked. Honest question, are you in that 64%, or are you the exception? But here is the condition nobody tests. This is not about not having enough. This is about having enough and not believing it. Northwestern Mutual dropped their 2026 retirement study 8 days ago. Americans now say they need $1.46 million to retire comfortably. That jumped 200 grand from last year. But the median 401k balance for someone 10 years from retirement, $95,000. There is a gap between what people think they need and what they actually have that is so wide you could park the entire US economy inside it. And that gap does not motivate people, it paralyzes them. That assumption sits on top of a deeper one, so they save more. They skip the vacation, they work an extra year, then another. And when they finally stop, when the number in their account is objectively, mathematically, provably enough, they still cannot bring themselves to spend it because the fear is not about math. It never was. The fear is a habit they practiced every day for 30 years. And nobody told them that saving and spending require completely different psychological muscles. And there is one scenario where even good math fails you. Here is what matters more than your portfolio balance, not whether your number is big enough, but whether you have ever actually calculated what your life costs, your real life, the one you would be happy with, and checked it against what you have already saved. Most people have not. They are chasing a number that someone else made up, a number on Reddit. A number from a survey, a number that went up 200 grand this year for no reason other than collective anxiety. Have you ever actually run that calculation, or are you still using someone else's number? Your number is not 1.46 million. Your number is whatever buys Tuesday mornings with nowhere to be and enough margin to say yes when your grandkid asks to go get ice cream. But you have to calculate it, because the assumption that a big number equals peace of mind fails the moment you realize you never practiced spending. That is the condition. That is where the model breaks. Hit $1 million without that skill, and you do not retire. You just move into a nicer cell.